Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Iris Podcast. I'm your host, Bowsy. Joining me here today, we have Deputy Commissioner Mr. Yeti, as well as Admin Sneaky Kittens on the broadcast. How are you two doing on this fine Monday evening?
I'm fantastic. I am excited. It's been a big night here, obviously, with the info drop. Happy Memorial Day, by the way, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your day off. And for anybody with family, obviously, thank you very much for your service as well.
Glad to be here. Super excited to be here. I was like, "Are you sure you guys want me on here? Like, did you say sneaky cat?" I mean, okay, hi.
Yeah, there you go.
You did say yes when we asked for volunteers. That was your fault.
Well,
that was indeed your fault. So, and Sneaky Kittens takes all the blame for Sneaky Kittens not being ready for the podcast. Regardless of which, we just mentioned it there. We have our info drop. But before we get into the info drop, we, of course, had our first week of the championship bracket last week. So let's go over a little bit about that, starting off with your reaction so far to the championship bracket, starting off with you, Mr. Yeti.
It's been a lot of fun. The championship bracket this season, expanding to 8, was designed to create some more compelling matchups, eliminate some buys, and honestly, it has. I'm not gonna take your thing, even though you filled it out first, so I'm still a little angry at you about that. But whatever, Bowsy.
Sorry.
I think one of the things that stands out to me, just obviously this whole playoffs, has been the resurgence of flashbacks. A lot of people looked at this roster and said that in Harmony tier, they kind of fell off. They weren't the force that they used to be in that tier. They were losing to teams they shouldn't lose to. They were going to map 5 against teams that were in the bottom of the tier. They were really struggling for a long time. They somehow managed to pull it out and kind of figure out what the problems were. And now they're staring at a top 4 finish and looking to try to get that path to the finals against a tough Clairvoyance team.
Yeah, definitely flashbacks. A great comeback overall this season. Will be a comeback story for the season if they're able to make it to that championship. Sneakykins, what about you? Your reactions to the first week of championship bracket?
honestly, I've been really excited to kind of see how everything plays out. I love how we have Clairvoyance in that championship bracket. I know they were kind of consistently outperforming Preds basically the entire season, right? Kind of upsetting the apple cart each time. So super fun to see them in there. Also fun to see Onigiri, some kind of new faces and names to our championship brackets, as well as, we have our returning rock stars, Galactic Penguins and Flashbacks. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, a lot of great teams in that top 4 for Harmony, so it'll be interesting to see how they all pan out. Now, Yeti mentioned it earlier, but I stole his point that he was going to talk about. How about that MI7 versus Wild Catboys game? Going to a map 7, probably one of the most intense matches we've seen all season. MI7 coming out with the win, but definitely was a match for the ages. A great performance from both teams. It'll be interesting to see if MI7 can ride that momentum into the semifinals and try to lock their way into a grand finals appearance or a championship here. So definitely going to be very interesting to see how that goes. But now, as we are entering the next week of our championship bracket, how about some things that you're looking forward to as we enter into the semifinals for Tranquility Season 10, Mr. Yeti?
This season I had the opportunity to cast the first Transcendence tier match, and that was between Fleet Angels and Devil Dukes. And Devil Dukes absolutely stomped Fleet Angels. It wasn't close. It was a 4-0, just destroyed them. And when I was looking at Fleet Angels and that roster, I was just like, this roster should be a lot better than it is, but I don't know if they're just washed or what's going on exactly. They figured it out. Right now, they look borderline unstoppable. They kind of stomped through Revital fairly quickly in this past week's quarterfinals. Coming up in the semifinals, they have Amnesia. Now, Amnesia has a big habit of playing up to competition, but they also have a habit of playing down at times they shouldn't as well. I worry about Amnesia here. Obviously, 3 nostalgia teams in the top 4 is really incredible in each tier. That's really, really quite something else, or quite something else to see. But at the same time, if I'm looking at any team of those 3 that's extremely vulnerable right now, I think it's got to be that team going up against Fleet Angels this coming week here. I just don't know if Fleet Angels can be stopped right now.
Yeah, Fleet Angels soared high. We'll see if Amnesia is going to bring them down to the ground. Sneaky Kids, what about you? What are you most looking forward to in the semifinals?
The thing is, I'm kind of bad about tuning in, earlier in the seasons as we go. I have foster kittens, all that crazy stuff. But these last several weeks, like, I watch every match and I'm screaming at my computer. It doesn't matter who's playing. Like, I get so hyped up for these matches. It's so awesome to see the improvement, the hard work everyone's doing. So I have no idea what to expect, but I am really, really looking forward to watching and probably, hopefully, weather that is such that I don't have my windows open, so I'm not scaring my neighbors as I'm yelling.
That could be a little concerning, yeah, but definitely, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, definitely will be an interesting. It will be interesting to see how all the matches go this week, especially with all of them. I'm looking forward to a specific match because this match harkens back all the way back to season 7 for this rivalry that has yet to happen this season. Reminiscence, Paradise Lost. The Season 7 Grand Finals match, that is happening as a semifinals match this week to determine a spot in the playoffs. Two entirely different rosters, but the rivalry is still there. I think it's going to be a match that is going to be worth watching. Again, Reminiscence versus Paradise Lost. I'm interested to see how that match goes in the semifinals for the Discord tier.
It's just Rem versus MI7 might happen again. I still it's a tale as old as time at this point. These teams' destinies appear to be intertwined. So,
Yeah.
but just the way it seems these days.
It'd be the 6th time total in the past 2 seasons that MI7 and Rem meet up, if that happens. So we'll see. All right, with that being said, now that we're done with the coverage of the championship bracket, let's just cut to the chase. It's time for the Season 11 info drop. So, we have a lot of stuff to go over, including the start date, staff, and rules changes that are going to be going into place here in Season 11, in addition to some extra information. But let's start off with the biggest thing, Mr. Yeti. When is Season 11 starting?
Never.
Okay. Well, goodbye.
Have a good night, guys.
We're done.
Nice seeing you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
In all seriousness, everybody, Season 11 will be starting. Oh, did you actually kick us away there?
No,
Okay,
I did for a second.
I
now
saw
it's
it
back.
pop up
Yeah.
on my screen there. You
That's so
messaged
good.
me. You're fooling me.
I have to
No.
message you at least once in my life.
Yeah, it's been a massive debate. We've been lying to you this entire time. No, the Season 11 is set for the week of August 21st. That will be the start of Season 11. It's coming up here in just about 12 weeks now here, guys. It's coming up real quick.
Real quick.
You don't have to tell us that because yeah, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, definitely. And there you go. There's your start date. Everybody put that down in your calendars. Put that all down where you need to. But that is where the Season 11 is going to be beginning. That will be the first week of regular season play. Preseason, of course, will fall before that. But regardless of that, there is your first week of play. All right. Now that we have our start date, Mr. Yeti, let's talk a little bit about the staff changes that we're going to be implementing as we enter into Season 11.
Yes, so Season 11, obviously there's some changes coming up here. First thing I wanted to highlight is we do have some departures from our staff this season and some big ones in that. First and foremost, NPC, who has been on our staff since Season 3 as a general admin for a very long time, been handling our socials, a lot of our outreach as well. NPC, former tier director as well. Unfortunately, just real life's getting far too busy for them, and they no longer are able to devote the time to the community as they want to be able to continue on. Also, in addition to that, Beth has let us know that they won't be returning as well. Beth is a doctor, is moving, and is trying not to be chronically online while they're doing all this. So credit to both of them. Obviously an incredible thing from both incredible things that these two have done for us for a very long time. They've been a huge part of our community. In both cases, they've been here since Season 2. Both have been admins since Season 5, NPC since Season 3. And Beth, obviously, helping get the community liaison team up and running. Both have been incredible assets to the community, and I speak for Cav and everybody on staff. They're going to be missed. They'll be sorely missed. Incredible presences within the community, and it will be sad to see them go. They'll still be around in some small respect. They'll be around as advisors here for us on staff, and we'll obviously be lurking around in the Discord. But unfortunately, they will no longer be representing Tranquility as staff. The final change here is Chimanzi. Chimanzi, for those of you who don't know, is kind of had his coaching career take off with Altiora and some other opportunities moving into that T2 level as well. Plus, they're in college and it's busy there. So Chimanzi has decided to kind of step down from a higher level role and move down into a bit of a lower level role. Still going to be helping the community, but will no longer be representing with those Orange Dames any longer.
Yeah, definitely a lot of big departures there. Obviously, Chimanzi been helping out a lot for the past few seasons. I wish them luck in college because, as someone who just graduated a few days ago, it's rough. But also NPC. I mean, that's gonna be one heck of a loss because who else is gonna be saying that you can type !store in the chat in order to find our
Yes.
Tranquility store?
We'll have to find a way to do it without him.
Yeah, I mean, I have a command right there. I have a command on my Stream Deck that allows me to do it immediately, but that's besides the point. But regardless of which, there's definitely a big loss, and also BethCon, known for the Beth bombs, going to be definitely sad to see all of these admins go, and they've definitely contributed so much to Tranquility. But when these doors close, others open, Mr. Yeti, and that's where we get into our staff changes for next season.
Yeah, so kind of kicking off here, we have a few promotions from in our staff that we want to highlight. First and foremost, our very own Sneaky, on whatever side of me the camera is messing with me, is going to be moving into managing the liaison team here, and taking that position over. Sneaky, just in case people may be unfamiliar, what does the liaison team kind of do for Tranquility?
Yeah, absolutely. So, community liaisons. Oh, I can't even say the word correctly, but I promise I'll be a good leader for it. This group has been around for a few seasons now. We kind of just are here to offer support outside of the normal, like, hey, I had an issue with my match, whatever. Like, we're more here as kind of your social support group here in Tranquility. Whether you're having, an issue, if you want to talk to somebody, it can be related to Trank. It can be just related to life. If you need something, we are happy to work with you. Reach out. Any questions at all, personal, whatever team related, you can always reach out to us. So yeah, we just kind of like having that support group here because, sometimes it's like something's going on. I'm not sure who I should talk to. Well, that's us. Don't worry, we're not that scary.
So Sneaky is going to be heading up that team. Super excited to have them in that position. Then obviously Aura, who's been phenomenal in the moderator spot, also has been helping a ton with the Twitch team. We're going to be moving them into kind of an asset management and social media. For those of you who are unaware, Aura made our spreadsheets this season, including our weekly match sheet that has basically replaced the terrible website that Tournament is for us here. So Aura created all of that, and it kind of felt like a natural promotion. Aura also wants to take over our social media presence as well. So Aura is going to be moving into the Origin Names this coming season, kind of managing all of our spreadsheet assets, our graphical assets, and obviously in that social media step. And then in addition to that, Gios. Gios, for those of you who have been working with the events team or seen the work that Gios is putting in, does so much. He's working so hard on these side events here, and obviously kind of helping getting that Valorant expansion still up and running right now. It's still in process. Our Valorant expansion is ongoing. It is a process, and we're still working through that here. By the way, if you are interested in helping out with the Valorant expansion, reach out to Gios. He is looking for a couple more people with that if you want to help out there. Good way to get your foot in the door here in Trank if you're looking to provide some help. But yeah, Gios is going to take over the admin position there for events coordinating and obviously with our Valorant expansion. In addition to that, you're seeing a few new tier directors here. Both Try and Glitch were both assistant tier directors last season. Both did fantastic. They'll be moving into tier director positions this season, managing the Transcendence and Discord tier respectively. And then Smarties, as you see here, is going to be moving into a tier director position for our brand new tier, which we'll be covering in a little bit, which is the Ascendant tier here in Tranquility.
That's right.
Really excited to have all three of these people on. Really excited that all six of these people will do amazing work here.
Absolutely. We'll go more into that Ascended tier as that brand new tier that we're establishing this season. We'll get more into that. No, it's not called the Snap Kick tier as much as some people on the team wanted it to be that way, but regardless of which, definitely a new tier. In addition to these admin positions, we also have some new staff that we're bringing on board for this season, Yeti.
Yeah, we're really excited to bring in some new staff. We needed some new assistant tier directors, obviously. One of those is not listed here, but that's Chimanzi, who's going to be the assistant tier director to Smarties in the Ascendant tier. In addition, we have 3 new members of our staff that we're really excited to bring in this season. Choi Soo-won is going to be joining up as the assistant tier director for Transcendence tier, going to be helping out with Try, helping build out that tier. In addition to that, Train is going to be working as the assistant tier director for Discord tier, and then Hippie is going to be the assistant Twitch manager this season, moving into that role, taking over for Aura, who is moving on up the chain. So obviously some fantastic these guys have been in Trank for a very long time. They all have been extraordinarily helpful in their own ways. Obviously, Choi and Train both have helped with content in the past. Train been helping with the events team this season, and then Hippie obviously is one of our most valuable assets when it comes to the production of our community, and has put in a ton of work helping build that out to where it is and where it's going. So very excited to bring Hippie in as the assistant Twitch manager.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be very excited to see Hippie in that Twitch role. Definitely has done a lot for our Twitch team this season. It'll be interesting to see how he's able to accelerate that progress as we head into Season 11. All right. Stat changes are now out of the way. Let's get into the rule changes now, Mr. Yeti. What dastardly rules are we implementing in Season 11?
Sure. The rule adjustments. Let's start off at the top. Obviously, everybody's wondering what's going to be happening with the tiers, and I think that's the first and foremost thing. I totally understand where people are coming from on that, and that is the big questions there are where these SR ranges are going to be. So where these ranks are going to be. There is a small increase in every single tier. Is the first thing I'm going to highlight here. Harmony tier, we're expecting Harmony tier to be a bit smaller this coming season. We're expecting it to have a little bit of a reduction in size. And that's just, unfortunately, kind of the nature of the beast here when it comes to the way ranks are going. We're expecting to see more teams coming into that Diamond and Masters level and a lot fewer teams in that Plat level. So we're expecting Harmony tier to be a smaller tier. Part of the reason why we don't have an assistant tier director right now helping out Sneaky is because we don't know if we're going to need one. So you're seeing some small increases in Harmony tier. Discord tier, same thing. You're seeing some small increases in what we're going to be having in Discord tier. And again, in Transcendence, again, a very slight increase in Transcendence tier with the addition of the next thing that you're going to see here, the Ascendant tier. We didn't really want to see it be a huge jump up for Transcendence tier, because we want people to be using the Ascendance here. We want people to be playing in the Ascendance here. We don't want GM4 player or somebody who's a GM1 DPS, who's a GM5 tank playing. That's not where we really want them to be. We want them to be in the tier playing their main role. So kind of the idea there is just a slight increase for trans tier, but really we didn't really want to kind of get out into the next level there. So small increases across the board, but it just kind of fits the nature of where Overwatch ranks are going right now. This is just kind of what we are dealing with here with Overwatch ranks, a ranking system increasing. So we have to adjust. We have to adjust to survive, and this is what we're doing.
Yeah, for those who paid attention, there was a survey that Mr. Yeti actually sent out in the Discord server that asked you what your rank was over Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. That data was used in order to create these changes in the tier structures. So if you answered dishonestly on that, you're paying the price. But that's besides the point. But there you go. But as you already mentioned, I mean, these are just the tiers that we already have, Mr. Yeti. But you mentioned a new tier, the Ascendant tier being established next season.
Yes. So the Ascendant tier is our new uncapped tier. Obviously, we've seen the largest influx of new players and returning players who are hitting into that high GM level. And a lot of them still want to continue their careers here in Tranquility. They see it as a fun place to play. They really enjoy playing here. And for the first time in a long time, we agree, and we would like to have the uncapped option for teams to return. So we bring you now the Ascendant tier here in Tranquility for Season 11. The big thing with this one is that the key thing here is anybody can play in it. Except for people who have finished in a top, basically, if you've ever been in Contenders Trials, Contenders, or Overwatch League, you can't play. And no offense.
Sorry, Rocket.
Sorry. And then if you've been top 8 OD, and there's something key there, it's top 8 OD in Overwatch 2. For those of you who are around in Overwatch 1, you remember that really awful bracket system they had for a really long time that resulted in some really weird top 8 finishes? It kind of stunk. So that's really nothing that we really wanted incorporated in this right now. Obviously, this is all subject to review. It might get taken a look at a later time, but that's currently not something we have included in this. Somebody did just ask in chat, what about calling all heroes? In all honesty, we haven't considered that as part of this here. maybe it does need to be looked at. That's something that is new this season and really hadn't really weighed onto our decisioning as of yet. But it's a valid point, Wooly, and we'll have a discussion about it. And if we need to make an adjustment, we will, absolutely. But a lot of those players in that higher level of Calling All Heroes have also played in those top 8 OD type situations as well. Obviously, there's quite a few who haven't, but given that Calling All Heroes can be a restricted tournament as to who can perform, and top 8 OD is an unrestricted format, there will be a difference in some respects to that. Plus, Calling All Heroes has the difference between majors and minors and all of that. There's a lot to unpack there, so it's hard to really make a determination on the fly, but it's a really good point. Something we'll review, Wooly, and I do appreciate you for asking that question.
Yeah, definitely a good question to ask to start off here, but definitely Ascended tier going to be established. Pretty interesting rules in terms of qualification, but that's something that's going to be reviewed. We'll eventually be getting into that. What you're seeing today is pretty much 99% the complete rulebook, but we might make changes before the start of season 11, and then all those changes will be posted, of course, in the Tranquility rulebook once the time comes around to those changes. But yeah. All right, so now we've gone over the Ascended tier. Let's go over now the days for matches, Mr. Yeti.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, with the increase of tiers, we're going to be seeing an change in our schedule here, and I do want to highlight the changes here. Harmony tier will be moving into Mondays. We'll get to that, Ebby. We'll get to that. I see you. We'll get to that. And Harmony tier is going to be moving into Monday. Transcendence tier is going to be moving to Tuesday. Ascendant tier will be staying as Wednesday, and then Thursday is going to be a Discord tier night as usual. We have to make changes. We have 4 tiers now. We have people who want to be a part of teams in multiple tiers as a coach, as a presence, as whatever, and to again combine the tiers across multiple days wasn't really something that a lot of the feedback we have would be well received. So we have to make an adjustment. We don't want to go into weekends because weekends are controlled in many cases by GGNA, UGC, and Open Division.
And BPL.
BPL, Kitsune, all the tournaments out there. A lot of them are doing their matches on weekends. So it doesn't really make any sense for us to continue in to try to push these events to weekends. It really doesn't work with the tournament schedules. We want to be that alternative option for people when there's so many tournaments already that are pushing Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays for their matches. We can't, we can't really go there. So, why doesn't it go Harmony to Ascendant in order? There's a couple different reasons for that. The one reason is Discord has always kind of been our flagship tier in a lot of ways. When we look at the progression of Tranquility, that diamond level tier has always been the tier that has been the most competitive. Traditionally, it's been the most interesting. And traditionally, it kind of fits into that MO that we've always had of being one of our highest level development tiers. It just kind of always has fit the bill, and we're rocking the boat already by moving Harmony tier to Monday. We didn't want to rock it any further than we already are. Plus, most of the high-end teams, again, Ascendant tier level players, they're going to be playing in Open Division Fridays and Saturdays. So having multiple days in a row of tournaments can be a little bit of a detractor from people who want to be participating in Tranquility, but also participate in things like Open Division, Kitsune, BPL, UGC, things like that. So we made the decision to have Ascendant stay on Wednesday and keep Discord tier on Thursday for that reason. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. So there are the dates that you're going to be doing for all of the match days. So definitely interesting matches that we're going to be seeing there, but that's besides the point. But how about matches that how about the entire match week as a whole, Mr. Eddie? Because we are making one slight change to the match week as a whole.
Yeah, because we're moving games to Monday. This is just again highlighting a small change. Match week starts on Sunday now. That is, the start and end of the match week is Sunday. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. No longer Mondays, now on Sundays. Small change, but an important change. I don't want people to say that we didn't warn them. It's going to be written down. It's going to be highlighted. It's also going to be said by me here, and it'll probably be said by me here again at some point in the future. So if you don't pay attention, that's not my problem. So
Yeah.
there you go.
There you go. Sunday now is the match week start and end date. So get your matches in by Sunday, not Monday. There you go. There's your final proposition on that. All right, let's move over now to the next one, which is about the maps that you're going to be playing in the regular season, Mr. Yeti, because we are making another slight change to this.
Yeah. So this is kind of, you can kind of show you can actually kind of jump to the next slide already, because it's kind of burying the lead here. So one of the things that we asked people is whether or not they liked the fact that we were playing 4 maps. Part of the reason why we've always been playing 4 maps is because that was the way Overwatch League used to do it. Well, Overwatch League has changed dramatically. They don't do that anymore, and really no tournaments play the 4th map anymore. It's just not a thing anymore. Nobody does it. Tranquility has always been kind of the last bastion of playing the 4th map regardless of the score. So now we're going to be removing that. If the first map will either be a control or a push map, which is going to be decided at the time or when the map pool is being created. We will post which map is going to go first, and then it's going to be the hybrid escort, and then whatever map 4 is going to be is either going to be a push or control, whichever mode wasn't played in map 1, and then control will still be our tie-breaking 5th map. That will remain to be the case. But basically, again, the reasons why we always had a 4th map were a couple things. Number 1 was playtime. Number 2 was map differential. We always wanted to get map differential to be a highlighted option, or to be a highlighted thing, or to be an important thing, because it was a big part of what we do with regards to our standings. A short season, map differential is really important, but it just didn't really make sense anymore to have to go this route when nobody else is doing it. It's going to be reviewed after stage 1. We might make a change back to it if we're not happy with it. If the community's not happy with it, we might make a change back to it. But for the start of the season, at the very least, we're going to be eliminating the requirement to complete all 4 maps. It'll be 1st to 3 the whole way through, and that's where we'll leave it at.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to be making an effort to switch to 1st to 3 next season. So definitely going to be an interesting change there. Alongside that is going to be the types of maps that you play. I don't know if you went over or not when you were talking about the 1st to 3, but the types of maps you'll be playing as well.
Yeah, and I did highlight that already, but again, just we'll be playing either control or push first, and then going the other direction with map 4.
Okay, I actually do have a question here while we're doing this. The tiebreaker, is it always control, or is it going to be control or push, just like the other ones? Or just like the other controls?
The tiebreaker, as of right now, says control only. That might change. Okay. So don't assume anything with that. That might change, but we'll review it. But as of right now, it is control.
All right, there you go. So there is a confirmation on that rule choice. So double control in a row, that'll be fun. But regardless of that, let's go over now to some changes to rostering players in the next season, Mr. Yeti.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will see some with regards to that one. I'm sorry, I'm just getting my spot back here.
No worries, it happens.
Grab a couple changes here. And by the way, for those wondering, our entire season 11 rulebook and all of this information will be posted in the Discord right after this is done. So I see some people like scrambling to grab information, but you don't need to do that. It's all going to be available to you here in like 30 minutes. So
it'll be a public document ready for viewing, and all of these changes will be highlighted in yellow, just like they are in these images.
So first and foremost, players have to be playing on PC. We had some situations this season, one where it just wasn't caught by staff that a player was playing on console all season. Don't know how that happened, but it happened, and we own that. We own that mistake, and they should not have been permitted in the first place. But we screwed up, and we own that, and we move on. And it was never specifically listed in the rules that players could not play on console, but it was always kind of one of those things that was heavily implied that we're not console. We've never been console. We're a PC tournament. Well, We had some situations arise this season, and in all honesty, we have to own that we need to be better with that. So we need to put that together here and make it to where it's just PC only at this point. So right now it's PC only. That might change in the future, but right now there's just too much uncertainty with things like aim assist and things like that. They can be issues with that kind of thing and perceived issues with that kind of thing, and we just really don't want it to be a problem. And in addition to that, some people, if they're playing console in addition to their PC, we historically have not cared, and we're going to continue to not care because PC plays almost entirely differently to console. It's a completely different game at high level PC compared to high level console, and it's going to remain that way. I see some people are like, oh, this player is really high rank on console. Yeah, there's a lot of people who have been really bad historically in Tranquility who also have been high rank on console, so I don't really read a whole lot into that. But just the way things work. So, and then the last thing here is just kind of an adjustment to just explaining, how team managers can access their or how team managers can build their rosters, explaining how that process works, just kind of tying some loose ends together in the thing. So
yeah, pretty much that is what it's going to do. Now, someone asked earlier what would be the case for trying to get previous seasons. Mr. Yeti, that ties right in to our next slide.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Overwatch 1 is a dead game. And I mean that literally, and you can't play it anymore.
Yep.
We've been using some Overwatch 1 information and things like legacy caps and Overwatch 1. At this point, Overwatch 1's been gone for going on a calendar year. It's going to be about a calendar year when this game goes to the next season. It's just not worth us continuing to value Overwatch 1 as a resource anymore. So we're kind of going to be moving away from that. First and foremost here for season 11, we're going back to season 3. I know season 3 is going to really bother some people because season 3 was just janky with regards to ranks, but it's what we got to do. We have to go back that far to be able to get the most accurate picture of where players are at SR-wise. There won't be exceptions made because season 3 was a little bit inflated. We have to use the information in front of us, and that's what we're going to use. So tough cookies this season if that ends up being a problem for you, but it's the information we have to use. We can't just use season 4 and season 5 because there just won't be enough data to be able to properly weigh a player's skill level for their individual tiers. So and somebody just brought up season 4 was just as inflated too. It's welcome to the new ranking system.
Welcome to Blizzard.
There's going to be a lot of inflated players, but that's part of the reason why we have the Ascendant tier now, folks.
Yep.
There's always a place for you to play.
Look,
and that's why we changed the rank or the range as well. Obviously, we've had to adapt just as much as you guys have. Trust me.
I mean, we definitely know the ranks are inflated. If I'm masters on tank and support, then there's a problem. But that's. That's besides the point. But regardless of which, that's just going to be a change we're making. Season 3 will be the last season that you'll do. And of course, Ascendant tier players only have to do the current season. So they only have to do the current season for their ranks. They don't have to do any of previous seasons. And we also need to make sure that they don't, aren't in OD and whatnot. But outside of that, that's that. But also, there is that legacy cap that you mentioned, Mr. Yeti, and there are adjustments happening to that in terms of what ranks they are.
Yes, so legacy cap, like I said, or like somebody brought up, we can't really use Overwatch 1 anymore. It's a dead game. It's a long past game, and honestly, using somebody's Overwatch 1 rank at this point, in almost every case, Overwatch 2 ranks are higher than Overwatch 1 ranks. In fact, I've yet to see an Overwatch 1 player with a lower rank in Overwatch 1 or in Overwatch 2 than they had in Overwatch 1. If you can point somebody out, let me know, because that would be funny to me. But it just isn't really happening. So we're really just saying at this point, if you've exceeded these ranks anymore in Overwatch 2, that's what we're saying. If it happened in Overwatch 1, we're not going to go back and review it anymore. We just can't. The data's not there anymore. The data's just disappearing, and we're not going to sit here trying to scour your Twitter profiles to find old screenshots from 2021 where you marked that you were GM4 or 4100. That just isn't really we have lives. We try to keep our sanity, and that's what we're going to be doing here. So these are the changes to our legacy caps. Harmony is now Masters 4, again, to adjust for the fact that now Diamond 4 and lower can play in Harmony. Player SR for Discord tiers GM5, GM2 for Transcendence tier, and then obviously there's no legacy cap for Ascendant tier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because that is our uncapped tier. Noah's asking in the chat if they are anything lower than GM5, they can still play in Discord tier.
That is a legacy cap. So you still have to qualify by normal SR rules, including the 3 rank drop for role locking down and all that stuff. But if you've not hit GM5 or higher, you would still be eligible, assuming your SRs qualify for next season.
Yeah, so the normal cap for Discord tier is Masters 4, but the Legacy cap is Grandmaster 5, meaning if you want to play in a season, you have to be Masters 4, you have to be below Masters 4, and you cannot have hit Grandmaster 5 or above at any seasons prior in Overwatch 2. So,
and I do see in chat as well the question, if your GM1 tank is forced into Ascendant tier on every roll, yes, you've hit the top rank in Overwatch at this point. Having a player with that level of potential game knowledge playing in a Masters tier or in a Discord, or especially a Discord tier, but in a Masters tier would just be it'd be a disservice to that tier. So we have to kind of draw the line at a certain point, and that's where we're drawing the line.
Yeah, so that's where the line is going to be drawn. But there you go. There is your ideas for the legacy caps. Again, just like the SR values for the tiers, a little change here and there just to adjust for the SR inflation that we're seeing. Now let's go into the next thing about about players in a roster and how much they must participate into, Mr. Yeti.
Yeah, so the playtime requirements are still going to exist, but obviously with the fact that we're going to 3 maps potentially only for 3-0 situations, basically we're following what we've done for first to 3 in Harmony and Discord tier. All players have to play at least 1 map by the conclusion of map 3, and again if the team fails to be the requirement, basically you're going to forfeit maps. So you have to play at least 3 maps, and each player has to play at least one of those maps. If you play 4, and this rule is a little bit wordy, we're going to be fixing the ruling on it, but if you play 4, they got to play 2. So you still have to follow the same play rules that you're following right now. It's just reworded to be a little bit more clear. Obviously, Transcendence tier and Ascendant tier, they are not required to follow any of those play rules. The reason why that is, by the way, again, Tranquility has always been about player development. We want players to get in and play. We don't want players just to be put on your roster as an SR anchor. Obviously, that does happen, and we're aware of that. We're not stupid. But at the same time, if you're going to put players on your roster as an SR anchor, you're going to have to play them. So this is our way of adjusting it and allowing players to have the opportunity to, who are lower level, to have an opportunity to get in and play on a team and actually see play time in these matchups.
Yeah, so pretty much if you're in the current playoffs and you happen to play in the upper or lower bracket, same situation as that bracket. Pretty much the exact same ruling is there. It just applies to the regular season now.
Nothing has changed except now it applies to regular season.
Yep.
Very simple.
Yep, pretty much. If you play during the playoffs, congratulations. That's your entire season moving forward. But that's besides the point. But let's go over now ringer things, Mr. Yeti, because we had some situations this season where ringers got interesting. So...
Yeah, for something we have a Discord command for, y'all got to learn to read. But genuinely, one of the biggest things that came up this season is, if we don't have a ringer, can we add a bot? Well, yeah, sure, add a bot. The problem is if people are adding bots like Soldier 76 or Reaper or something like that, they have pretty hardcore aim assist where they just don't miss, and that's a problem. So we're making the adjustment that if you're going to play with a bot, you got to play with a Lucio. That's just what we're going to require at this point. Is it has to be a Lucio bot. We have to put our foot down on it. We can't sit and allow strong hit scans to be played as a bot, just because there is weird hit things that go on in those situations. Or even Reaper bot, hard Reaper bot somehow ends up just fragging in a lot of games, and that's really not anything we're okay with.
Hard Reaper bot kind of scary. Had to play against it. My
Yeah.
tummy hurt.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Sneaky's the
hard.
best person to attest to this rule being
Exactly.
added.
So it's just hard. Lucio is really the only fair thing because it's not a true hit scan. The projectile travels relatively slowly. It's the only really fair way we can negate some of those aim assist things that bots have. Also, just find a ringer. Like, just find a ringer.
Yeah. I mean, it can be difficult with the Harmony tier, but still, Ringer. I mean, even with the increase in Harmony tier rank, it's going to be easier to find Ringers now.
Just
I
find a
believe.
ringer.
Just find a Ringer. Just try to find a
find
Ringer.
one.
Do everything. Join every server and look for a
Right.
Ringer.
I mean, some of you are practically bots as is. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Toby.
you're talking about me.
So, all right, let's
Yeah.
keep it going.
Yeah, but that I believe that is the last rule I have. That is the last thing I have. So that just brings us right back to the beginning, where again the start date is the week of August 21st. So keep that in mind in the back of your head. But now, with that all said, we're gonna open up the floor to questions, Mr. Yeti.
Yeah, so I wanted to open up the floor. If you have questions, go ahead and type them in chat while we're going on here. I kind of want to talk a little bit about some of the changes you're going to see in season 11 otherwise. And one of the things I'm going to highlight is content. Content's unfortunately with content this season, and I don't think it's any fault of the content team. It's just that the Iris has run its course, everybody. And it's hard for me to say that. I created that. There's a lot of people asking what are the minimum ranks.
I'll get them up on the. I'll get them on the screen.
We'll get them in the screen in a second here, guys. Hang in there.
There you go. They're right there on the screen, apart from Ascendant tier, which is pretty much uncapped.
Yep. So yeah, those we covered those at the beginning, but now they're on the screen again, and they will again be in the Discord as soon as this cast is over. So hang on tight for that. So what is the what is going on with our content? So the first thing is that it's the Iris has kind of run its course, and that's not the fault of Bowsy. That's not the fault of the analysts on the Iris. It's just not working anymore. And I think the format is kind of dying off, and we did our best with it for as long as we did, and it's been 5 years. Obviously, I helped kind of get the thing off the ground with Thuggington, so it's bittersweet for me to say this, but this will be the last season that we have the Iris podcast. Which really hurts to say. It really does. This is always been my baby, and it really hurts me to see it gone. But that's it's gonna be what it is, and that's okay. So I'm a little bummed about that. But that being said, obviously we've had some huge successes this season with content. We have Bronze Banter and Silver Slander, which have both been fantastic. Huge credit to the people running those programs. It kind of, again, it has that feel that the original Iris had, kind of that grassroots, player driven, really kind of nitty gritty, saying some things that may be a little bit too based for TV at times, but very, very, very fun. They have a great time with it, and it's been really solid in that regard. So we've been really happy with it, and we'll continue to have we'll continue to have content of that nature, but it's just going to be different going into next season. And obviously our content is going to be changing next season because we're going to be losing Nerfed, and that's a huge loss to our content group with Nerfed no longer being a part of that as well. Obviously incredibly grateful for Nerf to be a part of that, but with them being gone, it's going to hurt. It's going to really hurt. So our content's going to look a lot different next season. What that exactly is a great question. We don't know yet, but we're looking forward to bringing to you when we do. So hang tight, guys. We'll have more information on that soon. The other big thing is next season, and this is something you'll be seeing very soon you'll be seeing very soon in Tranquility, as in this week, is our B streams. We officially, everybody, have a new channel for Tranquility, and that is twitch.tv/TranquilityGG2. So again, we have a new stream or a new channel. Oh, that is not the right channel.
That's Tranquility 2. That's not the same thing.
I'm sitting here trying to type it, but I effed up. So don't click that one and follow it. I don't even think it goes to anything. But that is the new channel right there, everybody. Tranquility GG2.
Dropping that a follow right now.
Yeah, drop it a follow right now. It is our new B stream for Tranquility.
Yep.
So we are really excited to bring that to you guys. That is, it goes to a random Twitch channel. So we will officially have a new, an additional stream. Ideally, the hope is long term we can have 2 streams a night. That is the long-term goal. Obviously, I don't know that that's going to happen every time. It might be hard to pull off, but Laggy and obviously and Hippie are really up to the challenge, and we're up to the challenge too. So that being said, if you're looking to get into esports production, observing, or casting, we're always looking to add faces and names to that roster here in Tranquility. One of the best ways to break into esports right now is in observing and producing. If you have a decent computer and you're interested in getting involved, it's one of the best ways to help contribute to Tranquility. And obviously, again, one of the best ways to break into esports in general. So shoot Laggy a DM, let them know that they are, or that you're interested in this, and you'll get some training. It's a great opportunity. We've had a ton of people step into it this season, and would really enjoy having you you guys be a part of that team. So anyways, I think we had some questions come through, several of them, I'm sure.
Yeah, I saw one
But I
from
think
Florida asking about
a lot of them been answered.
Yeah, some of these questions have been answered, including one about if you're Masters 5 support, can you lock DPS in Harmony tier? Which, unfortunately, no, because the lowest rank you can be is Diamond
3.
Diamond 3, which is one level above the maximum rank for Harmony tier. So, yeah.
There's a couple other questions that I did see in here that I do want to highlight. Why was gold removed from Harmony tier? To put it bluntly, there's not really any gold competitive presence anymore. It's basically gone.
Yeah.
So it just didn't feel right for us to continue trying to run gold stuff when there's no gold things happening. So gold is, from a competitive perspective, kind of a dead rank, and that's where we're standing on it too. So
yeah. Now this is not to say people who are gold in Overwatch 2 can't play in Harmony tier.
Exactly, right.
Yeah, that just means
play.
It will. You are able to play. It just means that your rank will be automatically defaulted to the minimum for Harmony tier, which is plat 5.
So. In the ideal world, yes, we'll have multiple matches being streamed at once now. That is the end. That is the end goal, and the hope is that we will have that.
Yep.
So we hope, and that is the goal going into next season, to have that. There's a lot of things we want to be changing up next season, including our social media presence. Planning on doing a lot more with that as well. So you're seeing some big changes potentially there next season too. So, but yeah, 2 streams running at the next season here should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, will be very interesting to see how it goes, because definitely we've been, we've been trying to get teams featured for as much as possible. And now imagine if we could do it double.
Yeah,
like, that'd be fun.
Somebody did just ask as well, what is the rule about contenders and open division players? Again, basically, if you've been in contenders or open division, if you've been in contenders, trials, back when trials was a thing, or Overwatch League as a player, you cannot play in Trank. In addition, if you've been top 8 in OD in Overwatch 2, you cannot play in Trank either.
Yeah.
So again, that specifically applies to Overwatch 2 for the top 8 OD. And that's, again, mostly because of that terrible bracket system that existed in Overwatch 1 that resulted in some really janky, really weird top 8s and top 16s that some people basically got buys practically to. We're getting away from that because it was a bad system, and it resulted in a lot of really weird top 8s and top 16s, and that's why we're making that adjustment. And again, this might change in the future, but this is what we're rolling with moving into season 11. Is Ascendant tier regular season 1st to 3, same as every other tier, Aplom. It'll all be 1st to 3. So every other tier is in the same boat. It will all be 1st to 3.
Yep, and that is going to be subject for review after stage 1. So we'll see if that continues after stage 1. But for the most part, when the season starts on the week of August 21st, we'll be doing a 1st to 3 format for the first time in the regular season.
All right. I'm still looking for any other questions. If anybody wants to ask them, now is pretty much your last chance for a while here. Hoping to get them answered for you.
I'll at least put up the start date for the season 11 once more, which again, as I mentioned, is the week of August 21st. So make sure you get that date written down on your calendar or whatnot if you're willing to participate in Tranquility Gaming. Signups and whatnot will be coming out toward the later half of this season, probably sometime in June, Mr. Yeti, I assume, because we don't have an official date for that yet.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Signups for season 11.
They'll be posted shortly after finals.
There you go. So keep an eye out those in the middle of June. So
somebody just asked when channels will be open in the Discord for Ascendant tier. That'll be happening right after the season ends. We'll be reformatting our Discord to have that added in. So not quite yet. We're still kind of getting some things set in stone and formalized in how we're going to be formatting our Discord, because we're going to be making some changes to kind of make it a little less congested. We don't want it to be it's a little too congested right now, so we're just trying to kind of bring that back. Krytus asked, with the Iris gone, is it now only BB or Bronze Banter and Silver Slander? No, we just don't exactly know what our exact plan is for the next season with content. So there will be things. It's not just going to be Bronze Banter or Silver Slander, all that stuff. Right. When will All-Stars and MVP be announced? The votes have been counted. We're still getting graphics done for it. So expect those to be announced very, very, very soon. Very, very soon. And then what was another thing? Will subs still need to be playing at least 2 maps when they show up to matches? Yes, that's still the case. If you are on a roster in Discord and Harmony tier, you will still need to play in matches. Again, this is not a league to just stash people on your bench to lower your SR caps. This is a league where we want people to play. And yes, I said the L word.
Yeah, of course.
I got banned.
I have to ban the own deputy commissioner in this and from this podcast. But the only thing is, it's not going to be 2 maps. It's going to be 1 map for the first 3 maps, and then once you get that 4th map, it's going to be 2. So pretty much, if you played in the playoffs for this season, basically what the upper and lower bracket structure was like in terms of players.
SSS forever. You know how I know you weren't listening exactly 1 minute ago. Anyways, very, very, very soon. Hang tight. The votes have been counted, and we're getting there. Random British dude, thank you. I did just shower.
Me too, actually.
And then,
oh my god! All right, is that where we cut it back to the mainstream?
I think that's where we can go ahead and cut it back to the mainstream. I want to leave it on a positive note, and god darn it, I think that's where we're gonna leave it.
Yeah, that's a good way to cut it. But there you go. There's all your information. Again, we'll be rolling out more information, and the rulebook will be available in the Tranquility Discord server after this broadcast is done, so you can review the rulebook, see what sort of spelling typos we made, and complain to Mr. Yeti in his DMs for that. But regardless of which. Yeah, I mean, you complain to Mr. Yeti or complain to the entire moderator team because we were told to perforate it. But regardless of which, that all being said, there is one more thing that we have to go over, and that is what is going to be happening this week. So we have a lot of interesting matches. On Tuesday, of course, there are Harmony tier matches. On Wednesday is our Transcendence tier matches. On Thursday is our Discord tier matches. You may have noticed I said that those were all plural. Remember that B stream that we mentioned earlier? We're going to be doing our first test of the B stream this week by broadcasting every semi-finals matchup, both here on Tranquility GG and on the B stream at Tranquility GG 2. So you'll be able to watch every single match that is happening this week in Harmony, Transcendence, and Discord tier, assuming all goes right. Because we want to make basically, this is a test run for our B stream to make sure that it works effectively. But that is going to be the big thing. So make sure you stay tuned to all of our semifinal matches being broadcast next week on the respective streams. We'll have more information on which matches are going to be on which streams as we approach closer to the date. Unless, are those official yet, Mr. Yeti, or no?
Are the matches official?
Yeah. Which matches on which streams?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll figure it out. We'll get it all sorted in terms of which matches are on which streams. But we'll get information on that as we go along. In addition, of course, we have our usual programming against Silver Slander and Bronze Banter are hopefully going to be happening this week, and hopefully Lord Thuggington will be back for After Scrims tonight on Sunday. But that is all that we really have to cover. Is there anything you two have to say before I start pestering somebody for a giveaway at winner for a free T-shirt from the Tranquility Store?
I do have something to say. Something
Sure thing.
Very important. something very important. I know a lot of you guys are looking for all-stars. We've never had a stream where we've talked about the all-star winners and who is going to be in all-stars this season. We don't have graphic assets for it or anything like that, which is why we didn't really want to put it into a stream this season. You know, next week on the Iris, we're going to be actually drafting the all-star teams. So I hate to bury that from you here, Bowsy. Sorry I didn't let you say that, but
It's
now
fine.
I said it.
It's fine.
Steeler.
Exactly. We're going to be announcing we'll be having the all-star teams drafted here next week. But it feels weird that we don't have any streams where we talk about who the all-stars are going to be. So I'm just saying, if you might be curious about that, maybe I'll talk about it privately in my stream here in like 15 minutes. And yeah, I am using Tranquility to pump my own stream, but you know what? I deserve it. So yeah,
Mr. Yeti self-promoting on Tranquility.
you know what? I've done enough work, goddammit, to where I think it's okay that I occasionally, leech a little bit into my personal stream. So
Listen, you're gonna have me start plugging in my stream once I get
Yeah.
back to streaming next month.
I'm just saying, if you are interested, after this is over, you can go to twitch.tv/MrYetiCasts, and maybe I'll talk about it over there.
All right.
Maybe.
Well, whenever he says, I guess I can't stop
yeah.
him. I mean, I
Exactly.
could.
You can't stop me.
I can
Nobody
delete.
can-
I can
nobody
delete the
can
message
stop
or
me.
timeout you.
Nobody can stop me.
I could delete the message, but I'm not going to because then
You're
you
not
can delete
going
me.
to. You're
But
not
Twitch
going.
etiquette here. Wow, just stunning. I'm shocked. Don't even know what to say.
No. SSS forever. You can't even block a shatter. You can't stop me. Jeez. Get on my level. Anyways, moving on.
anyway, I forgot to message NPC for a giveaway winner. So should probably do that, but let me see.
Probably
NPC
should. Yeah,
NPC's
this is
not
getting off
online.
the rails. This is getting off the rails.
He's currently not online, so we'll see if we get a giveaway winner or not. Worst comes to worst, Mr. Yeti will announce it on his stream. Me plugging in even more Mr. Yeti stuff onto Tranquility Broadcast.
No, probably not. I'm not going to plug my personal stream anymore. I'm just saying, if you were looking for a fun and interesting stream where I occasionally stream content, you can go check.
I may or may not have
But-
removed his video source in the
Yeah.
second he was starting to self-promote again.
Yeah.
I have the power, Yeti. I can do that.
Exactly. Thank
Well,
you, Bowsy.
I just
appreciate
got
that.
word that NPC unfortunately is not able to pull a winner because he is not at his PC.
Well, I can do it real quick.
You
Give me
could.
30
There we go.
seconds.
So
Give me 30 seconds and I'll pull the winner.
there you go. So we can.
You guys need to pretty much right now. I'm going to be stopping collecting that stuff. So get your final. I'm going to count to 10 basically, and if you haven't count to 10,
Joke's
after
on you, I
that,
can't.
you're done here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Done. Now all votes after that will not be included in the random number generator.
Can we get a drum roll, please? All right, I'll do
And
it.
your winner.
I was hoping for the winner would come in that exact moment, but it didn't.
Yeah, that
So
would've been
I'll do more of a drum roll.
Your
until we get it.
winner is 2-bit. 1, 2, 3. 2-bit 1, 2, 3 is your winner this week.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
2-bit.
Tubit. We'll get in contact with you in order to get the details sorted for that free shirt, again, from the Tranquility Store. But that is going to do it for us here today. We thank you all for gazing into the iris with us here today. For Mr. Yeti and Sneaky Kittens cat who keeps interrupting the broadcast.
Oh my god.
It happens.
Trying to block the butt here.
It happens. But nonetheless, for them, my name has been Bowsy. We thank you all for gazing in the iris with us. Until we meet again, we hope you have an amazing week in tranquility, and we'll catch you in the rest of the week. Have a great week, everybody.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.